is, right there.
There he is.
There I
For
am.
anyone that's
Welcome,
watching, anyone that's
Carson.
watching,
Yeah, let's hope a few.
he even is wearing the Cool Times colors
Yes,
of the blue and
we
white.
appreciate your spirit.
You're blending into the neon sign.
Nuh-uh.
I'm just kidding. Carson Miller is with Assured Partners, and a very fast-growing, I mean, I'm going to say it's a very fast-growing insurance company that is kind of spreading like wildfire through our cold storage construction industry. And I'm sure all of our listeners have heard the name or seen the name Assured Partners or Carson Miller at conferences. And we've been dying to get you on the show for a long time because I think it's not only important to talk about just experiences with GCs and vendors and
Well, there's a lot of different businesses that contribute to the business that we do in cold storage.
Absolutely.
So it's good to highlight that part of things for our lovely listeners.
That's it. So here we are. Carson, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to be here.
Thanks for joining us
No,
in the studio.
I wouldn't miss it. I appreciate the invite.
Absolutely.
It's a long time coming, for sure.
Yes, it has been.
So tell us about yourself and how you got into what you're doing today.
Okay, well, my favorite topic. Yeah, so
The tequila part?
yeah, tequila, yeah, for sure. So I've been with Assured Partners for some time now. I've been licensed in insurance, and really I'm third generation risk management insurance. So it's in the blood, DNA. And throughout my career, I've specialized in energy and construction, and with Assured Partners, I've fallen into this niche.
Our lovely little industry,
yes,
huh?
And a lot of that has to do with the expertise and the verticals that Assured Partners offers. The way the model is very different than the other large brokerages. And instead of being a mile wide and an inch deep, really it's an inch wide and a mile deep, and so though we can do pretty much anything and everything, we're very focused on specific verticals, specializations, and expertise, which includes the construction industry, real estate, as well as captive alternative risk finance solutions. So, it's been a perfect fit for me, what I specialize in.
Yeah.
And then really I fell into, by luck, this incredible little, and it's not even little.
It's not
big.
little at all, but
like I was telling Jenna, I mean, it's the best kept secret out there.
Yeah.
I feel very fortunate to have turned a lot of handshakes into hugs, right? And made some very close friends through this, and some great clients. So
Absolutely. Well, I like the verticals you were talking about. Our audience is going to love to hear about the captive program. You say real estate. Do you want to dive into that first before we jump into captive? So when you say real estate, what does that mean for an insurance company to be involved in real estate?
Well, from that aspect, as far as what the cold storage and the temperature controlled space, really working with the owners, developers, on insuring these large properties,
Sure.
as well as the liability that comes with operating them. And so our real estate vertical specializes in that. We have some proprietary programs for industrial real estate and insuring these properties. So do quite a bit there, and that's just one of the...
And that's booming right now.
Unbelievably. But it's a big concern. I mean, the property markets are absolutely, as all markets are, as most of these listeners are aware, that rates and premiums continue to rise, and they're working their way up. And
I feel like they're not stopping though.
no, and there's no end in sight. Not that we're seeing
none.
And so that's important to recognize and really start putting strategies in place, not for your next renewal, but be working with somebody that has a sincere and genuine interest in you, your company, and putting the right strategy and plan in place that runs about 3-5 years out, having the vision and the plan to get you there. And of course, there are alternative risk financing solutions that we're able to offer too, while getting to know your company and wrapping our arms around your particular programs or portfolio, and we're able to come in and more times than not really make a dent and put a plan in place that will impact the bottom line.
yeah,
Sure.
very true.
So from real estate, you move into captive programs, and so then you start dealing with construction companies such as general contractors. and subcontractors,
Subcontractors.
which is a ginormous market with what we're doing.
Right. For sure.
And I don't think you even scratched the surface yet.
I haven't, and that's what's most exciting.
Yeah, and it's exciting. Can we tell them about us a little bit, about how Carson has got involved?
I
I'd love to
kind
hear
of think
it.
we should.
I've lived it, but I'd love to hear your side.
You did live it. Yeah. Well, we're not done yet. No, we're good. We're partners, and you know, I remember meeting you, and you know, we had an insurance broker, and they were fantastic. They're in our industry, and there's nothing wrong with them at all.
Mm-hmm.
And Jenna and I have always been a really big, like, you know, hands-on, get in the weeds, get to know who your partners are, almost just become friends with them, and because we're a family-owned company. I mean, we're a family company, and we want all of our people in our network who we buy from and deal with
To feel like extensions of that.
bingo. So you made that happen pretty quick. You made it easy.
You made it very easy.
It wasn't. I mean, I say quick, but it wasn't. You know, it wasn't super quick. But for us, it was. You know, we had a vision, and you know, we wanted to be involved in a captive one day, and we're so young, right? I mean, we're still a young company, and that stuff takes time.
Yeah.
It does.
That stuff takes time to get involved, and I feel like it's a boys' club, and you got to be invited, and you got to be a certain thing, and you know, it's like a fraternity that, you know, if you're not good at sports, you ain't getting in.
Well, yeah. And if you don't, you know, continue to pour in and I guess pull your weight, you're out.
Yeah.
And what's cool is that you provided a blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you provided a blueprint for us to say, okay, here's where you're at, and you didn't bullshit, right? Like, you said this is going to take X, it could take Y, and here's the steps to get there. And I feel like there's a lot of sales guys out there, especially insurance, because my phone rings every day about, hey, let me work on your workman's comp rate, and let me get you better, you know, commercial general liability rates, and blah blah blah. And it's like, you know, it's just so much salesy stuff where they you know, they're just trying to sell you something quick, and they don't really know your business.
Right.
And you wanted to learn our business.
Yeah.
And I think that's
For sure.
important. But enough about me.
Well, and it's
saying
interesting. It's interesting you even bring that up, because it is. I mean, you from the start, in the way that I operate, and one of the things I love about Assured Partners is really the collaborative. It's very different. And I've been with a couple of very large brokerages prior to Assured Partners, and again, it's just different.
Yeah.
But for me personally, it's about, you know, if someone's looking for a vendor or an employee to bring them quotes or have them sign something and then send them certificates, that's not us. Are you looking for a vendor employee type relationship? Or are you looking for a partner, a true partner that cares?
Right.
And that's me. And I hope that's what you guys have experienced. It's in my DNA. It's just who I am. And I'm the only
We have, because we're still renewing with you.
Right.
Well, and there are hiccups along the way,
Of
as
course.
there always
Of
are
course.
going to be. And I think what we've appreciated from you is that you're always available when they come about. And whether, you know, you're delivering good news or bad news, you do it in a really good way that, you know, helps us. Like, if it is bad news, it's here's how we're going to get through this. Here's how we can, you know, push forward. Here's what this impact will look like and how we'll get to the other side of it.
Absolutely. And when it comes down to it, it's risk management. I mean, you mentioned salesy and all. I claim to have never sold insurance a day in my life, and I really don't. It's not selling. It's about having conversations and truly getting to know your clients and identifying a need. And many times, I have many conversations where there isn't a need, but they go through our process and they've got a top 5 firm telling them, you know what, you're in great shape. And recently had one with a mutual relationship that I was really hoping to have the opportunity, but at the same time, that would be hoping that they didn't have the right program, but they did. And I flat out just told them, look, you're in great shape. You know, you call me anytime.
If that changes.
I mean, right. And not even that I now have a new relationship. They're welcome to call me anytime, and I'll answer any of their questions, right?
Absolutely.
And because we never know what's around the corner, and if I'm not going to be number 1, might as well be number 2, right? Because things do happen over time. People go in and out of business, and,
They do.
And or minds are changed, right? And I'm hopeful for that. But as far as the salesy part of it's an advisory and a consultancy. It's about identifying the problems before they come up, and that is risk management. That's what we do. That's what our team does. The beautiful thing is I've got a team that's a hell of a lot smarter than I am behind me. The resources, the cloud of a top 5 firm, all the markets, you know, the product's the product, that's the insurance. It comes down to the planning and the analysis, the data, putting the programs in place, but really having a broker that cares enough to take the initiative to have the foresight to see what things could possibly happen and already work the scenarios for you guys. That I don't think is that common. I'm only good at being who I am, but that's certainly how I operate for my clients. And so putting that plan in place over 3-5 years, you've got to have that, and you've got to have it to operate any successful business, right? And so as a partner, that's what can be expected of us and of me, and that's what you would expect of your partnership, right? So
absolutely.
Coming into this industry, like learning about it, like what was that experience like for you? Is there anything that like surprised you about this industry? Anything that stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things. Like, I mean, I feel very fortunate for the relationships that I had. I was introduced to the industry through Fricks, the Fricks company, and Brett Wedding, Greg Fricks, who are clients. And I remember going to an event, and it was an IARW, right? Event down in Austin. That's where I met y'all the first time.
It was Austin, that's right.
It was Austin.
And anyway, I had no idea really what to expect other than Brett and
other than just go to the bar and drink.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So showed up, and what I quickly found out, and the biggest surprise was how little I knew about something so big and great.
Right.
And you know, so immediately just meeting the people around there was absolutely incredible. I mean, in the camaraderie and the just. I mean, how tight, and the jokes, the clowning, it was just, it was a bunch of really cool, good people that have been highly successful and that take care of each other. Yeah. And and if you don't, you're probably not going to be around and be having those jokes. But it was very interesting for me and unique, and something that I completely shifted my career towards, and I'm now 100% committed to this space. Yeah,
I love it. That's awesome.
Well, and it's true. It is that wanting to take care of each other. I think that's one of the things we always talk, like with most of the people that have been guests on our show, they talk about like our industry and the people, right? Coming back to the people. And I think there is like a genuine care that runs through this industry for others and for what other people are doing and wanting others. Like, yeah, we all want to be successful, right? Absolutely. We all want to be successful, but like in this industry, I feel like there's room for all of us to be successful. And I feel like that is felt.
There's no question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So how long did it take you when you started going to IRW in Austin?
I guess that was about 3 years ago.
How long did it take you to really get turning and burning and landing some good customers?
It didn't take very long. I mean, again, it's about having the opportunity to have a conversation, really. And, you know, so I was able to kick that off pretty quickly. And again, I'm not a guy that's here to quote your insurance or get your broker fired, but what I want to do is get to know you guys. And I mean, first of all, we got to figure out if we even like each other enough to work together, right? And that goes both sides.
Yeah, totally.
You know, and so that comes from an initial conversation, and naturally that'll lead to questions about who y'all are as a company, what your goal, where you came from, where you are, what your objectives and goals are, what is your vision, what are your dreams, and then from that, you know, you start digging deeper and you get an idea and you figure out how, or at least for me, how I can deliver value in making that dream or that vision come true from my side. And I explain our 3-step process of what we call our blueprinting process. I believe it's unique. That's something different than most companies have experienced before, and it's painless. There's a lot of questions you've never been asked before, but a lot of that comes down to caring enough to ask the questions and not just quote insurance. And in the end, you know, having a full blueprint or roadmap to how you can drive down your total cost of risk, how you can improve your safety and loss controls. You know, what gaps are there, really what challenges or dangers exist, what opportunities exist, and how we're going to solve them. And at that point, hopefully, there's enough of trust and likability and credibility that in the end, I'm asked to be their partner.
Absolutely.
And if not, that's okay. They can take our work back to their broker. But in my experience, we've been able to uncover enough.
Oh yeah.
And thankfully, you know, people generally like what we bring.
They like that.
Now I'm rambling, but
No,
in the end, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, no, it does, and so for someone who's never heard of a captive before, explain it is you know elementary as you can.
Right, I will. Yeah.
So what is a captive?
The most basic definition of a captive is an insurance company that's set up to insure the risk of its owners. Okay, so in that there are a bunch of different types of captives. When it comes down to the construction and what I've seen here and what I've helped my clients in this space get into are more or less what they call a member-owned group captive. And so that generally will cover the general liability, the auto, and the workers' compensation lines. And so this captive is put together and it's member-owned, so it's essentially owned by a group of like-minded companies that are concerned about their employee safety, their operation safety, and they have control of it. They're high-performing. It's very exclusive, and you must be a high performer, and there are many advantages to it, but these companies come together and form their own insurance company. Each has ownership, each has equal say and vote, but they've come together for the benefit of ensuring the risk of all of these like-minded companies.
Sure.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a group health insurance plan.
and we do employee benefits captives as well.
Boom! What a segue.
Yeah.
And
all of this is trending, and the reason why it hadn't come up more often is most brokers out there are either not educated about it or don't have the specialization or the expertise or the resources to do them, or quite frankly, they like the fact that rates and premiums continue to rise, but again, it's a holistic solution that should be, I mean, every company should be educated on it.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's about, is education.
And a captive is not for everybody, right?
No, and not everybody can qualify for a captive either.
Yeah.
Now, we can help them get captive ready. We can show them and provide them the blueprint. And we do that for many companies. Some hadn't been in business long enough to get there, that we help them.
Yeah, you help them get there.
Right.
So these companies, when they get into the captive, over the course of time, it can save them money.
It can save them money, definitely save them money, but it can also, they profit from it. So essentially, and what I like to say is, you know, a captive is, I'm able to help my clients turn their insurance spend into an asset for their company. Wow. So I'll ask you this, if I were able to provide you a way for you, and let's say you're spending, you know, let's say $1 million, just for hypotheticals, but you spend $1 million on your work comp, your auto, and your GL premiums. If I were to tell you that you could get 60% of that back instead of paying it to the insurance company at the end of the year, and you could receive that $600,000, 60% back, would that be of interest to you?
Hang on, let me think.
Party horn, baby.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
You found my party horn.
I found your party horn.
Yes, you got me. I am interested.
I figured.
Carry on.
And that's one of many of the advantages, is the return of underwriting profits. And at that point, most people would like to have us educate them about captives once they learn that's a possibility.
And are most of these all offshore?
They can be, yeah. They're domiciled. Well, I mean, they're offshore, and there are many that are domestic also, and that comes down, and that's part of the process, is figuring out what our client feels most comfortable with. But it's a true insurance company. It's regulated, it's governed, just like the Liberty Mutuals, the Travelers, I mean, any of these guys. The only difference is you're owned by a bunch of like-minded companies, and by doing that, you're able to establish, and there's just different laws outside the US that are more favorable, and that you're able to take it, I hate to say take advantage of, but really it's it's just more advantageous.
Sure.
And in the laws, but at the same time, it's still, you're able to benefit from being an insurance company, and when all of the members perform, you get to participate in the profits of the insurance company. And so that, i.e. through the returns of underwriting profit, including earning investment income, just like other insurance. I mean, that's how insurance companies make part of their money, right? They take all those premiums, they invest it, and at the end of the year, there's investment income that's earned. Well, you are an owner in an insurance company, and all of those premiums of all those members are going and being, and so if you can imagine a 6 to 8% return each year on the premiums within that captive, and that's being compounded also year on year. And so this isn't a short-term strategy. I mean, if someone's buying a company or running a company and they're looking to exit in the next 3 years, this isn't a solution for them. Right. It's not. I mean, it could be, but it probably isn't. I mean, this is a long-term strategy, and which coincides with exactly my philosophy and my practice is with my clients. Is it's not about the 12-month renewal. Yeah, that's very important, but it's about having a long-term vision and plan.
That's the long game, yeah.
That's the long game.
Like that.
Did you have another question?
So what are the advantages?
Yeah.
You go.
Well, you looked like you were going to ask something, so I was waiting.
I looked at you and I was just blown away by your beauty today.
I mean,
Anyways,
so
moving on. Yes, what are some of the advantages?
Thank you, Jenna.
no, so like I was saying, I mean, there are a lot of advantages, but the first being the return of the underwriting profits. That usually gets everyone excited, and that's usually why there's even a deeper conversation about it. But
Of course.
Another advantage would be really being able to take control of your program. I mean, you're able to it's stabilizing your rates and your premium, because you're being insulated from that market we were talking about that is constantly rising.
There's no end in sight of.
Yeah, that we're seeing, right? And so if you're able to remove yourself from the volatility, or really, I mean, it's not volatility, it's just going up, right? And so if you're able to remove yourself and now be underwritten based on how you perform, and that's what your rates and your premiums are being based on, I mean, that's normally of interest to high-performing companies, instead of being underwritten by the community or the pool of other contractors out there just based on a code or a number, right? And so there's the advantage of that. You're going to lower, your premiums will be lower, they're going to be stable, and there's full transparency. You're an owner in the company. You can see exactly what you're rated, why you're rated, and it's coming from your performance. It's self-performed. It's performance-based on you, not the group. Okay, and so again, it's very exclusive. So the only members, if you even get in, it's because you are, in the top 20% high-performing, safety and loss control company. So
awesome.
And another advantage is the claims. Taking control of claims. We all have horror stories, but now you're removing the insurance company from, or the travelers or the whomever, the claims process. You are now in control of how that's going to be handled. And so and I say in control, but you have a strong influence on whether something gets paid, whether it doesn't get paid, and you want to pursue it. A work comp claim, let's say that is fraudulent. You can go ahead and do it. What if it's one of your best customers or clients? And you now contact in the claims process, you have a seat at the table. Every claim that takes place and how it's going to be handled, you discuss what the reserves will be. You'll be able to have some influence on that are placed on it, but you can also tell them who to pursue and who not to, because it may be a very important client or partner or customer of yours, right? And so you may very well tell them, hey, I don't want it pursued. I don't want to create any waves with these guys. Well, let's handle it another way, and they will not. And so you're able to take over control. You've got influence on the claims process, and it happens when you guys want it to happen. It's removing it from travelers, from all, whomever else is out there, that it's their money that's involved. So they tell you how it's going to be treated or how slowly. And guess what? If your administrator and your captive doesn't do a good job, it's based on a contract. It doesn't get renewed the next year. Another third party, all the members come in and decide we're bringing in a different third party administrator. And so there's that too.
Wow. So. You've been at this a long time now. I mean, over 3 years. You've been at a couple.
In the cold
You've been
space,
at a couple, 2-3 years of cold space work, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got to ask you, what's your favorite trade show, cold storage conference? Which one's your favorite?
I've loved them all, actually. They're
all great.
No, they are. They really are. They're a blast, and so many meaningful connections are made there, and late nights too. And,
yes, that's
so
right.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to say that the SEBA and the IARW events have been my favorite events.
Definitely top two for sure.
The one in Jacksonville or outside Amelia Island got cut a little short due to a hurricane.
We got evacuated.
Got a knock on the door, got evacuated. So that's probably the only reason that doesn't make up there. Yeah, that is what they said.
Originally, they're like, well, we can't technically kick you out. There just won't be any staff here if something bad happens.
Yeah.
You have no food, maybe no water.
No water.
Yeah. And you may be underwater.
You may be underwater. Yeah.
It wasn't even that bad though.
It wasn't. Well, and then,
yeah.
They were fortunate.
But being the risk manager I am, I was probably the first one out. So.
That's true. Good point.
Oh, yeah. So, I want to know.
So do I.
A little bit more about your being born into this industry. Tell us a little bit about, you said you grew up in it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you always want to stay in it? Or?
Not even.
Okay.
Not even close. Yeah, no. So my family goes way back. I was born and raised in Dallas, but my families go many moons back in Dallas. But we started the first work comp company in Texas, my family. And
really?
It was called Employers Casualty.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
We're learning new things today.
Yeah, so that, and then, my grandfather was Henry Miller Insurance in Highland Park here in Dallas, and built that into a large regional agency. And he had some health complications. My father was a tennis player, competitive tennis player, was going to go to UT and tennis scholarship. He also played basketball, but my grandfather had a health scare, and so at 18 he stayed and went to SMU, played tennis there. He also played basketball for SMU, two-sport athlete, and he also took on running my grandfather's insurance company, and he was able to grow it to the point of, while through going to school and playing two sports, growing it to the point of being acquired and becoming a part of AXA Advisors. It was Equitable Life at that time. So he took a couple of property and casualty companies public also, this being my father. Anyway, long story short.
Hard shoes to fill there, guy.
Well, and, so I did everything I could not to be involved, but it was hard not to, it's in the DNA, the blood. You kind of, even when you try not to listen, you still hear.
Yes.
He's not with us anymore, but I sure wish I listened a heck of a lot more. But, at the same time, there was a lot of wisdom, a lot of
what was the best lesson you ever taught you?
Oh, goodness. Personal or professional?
Both.
Oh, I want both.
Now I want both.
I want both. You're going to give me a choice. I want both.
Man, there so many. I think quite simply, and we'll group them together, personal and professional. He would say, use your resources. Period. That's simple. Use your resources. But
so smart though.
There's
so many people don't do that.
Right. Well, you got to know your resources. You got to manage your resources. You need to. But I think attitude's everything. He was from a different generation. I'm the youngest age. He was 85 when he passed. So, but he was incredibly wise. He was a character.
Attitude's everything.
Yeah. No, and attitude, and that's it. Attitude's everything. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. Right. He persevered perseverance. But attitude is everything. You know, be careful what you expect, because that's what you'll get, right?
Absolutely.
And so expect the best, and you'll get the best. But you got to plan for the worst.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, you do.
You know, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. What do you do when it does? And if that doesn't work, what do you do then? But having that attitude and that in place, you can be as optimistic and as positive, and you know, and make a difference, you know, for others. But man, you put me on the spot there.
No, that was good.
I can't even do it justice.
I mean, I think you nailed it. Attitude is everything, and yeah, I mean,
Use
just
your resources.
Use your resources.
You got to take care of people. You know,
Yeah.
and you give and you'll receive. And
so is that why? Well, let me ask you this: if you know, there's 10 cold storage contractors out there, maybe you're not doing business with. Maybe they're listening today. Why should they pick up the phone and call Carson Miller?
because I care. Period.
I think we can be a testament to that.
Yeah,
That's
true.
a true statement.
That's true.
Yeah. Because I care.
That. Very cool. I was going to say, why should people buy from you? But I think you already answered that also.
He did answer that
Because
very
you care.
well.
I believe that 150%, because when we were dealing with you in the very beginning, you asked us questions that no one's ever asked us, right? And without getting into the weeds of that, you made it personal with us too, to create that bond and trust and relationship. And you know, you were passionate about our goals, our end goals, and where our vision was, and you were excited for us.
Still am.
Thank you. Yeah, it was cool.
But I think the line of questioning too, especially like, and this isn't just for us, but like, you know, we grew kind of quickly, and I think for us that it
You're being humble.
She's a very humble lady.
we weren't able to slow down enough to think about some of the things that you were asking us. Like we hadn't. Like for us, it was head down, one foot in front of the other, just keep the wheel turning every day, and we'll figure out the rest later.
Right, for sure.
And we hadn't gotten to the point where some of the questions that you asked us were ones that we had really time to consider. And so to have someone come in and ask these questions in such a genuine way, it was like, oh, we do need to be thinking about this, and we do need to have, you know, to protect the wheel that turns every day. We need to protect that in a way. And oh, look at these blind spots that we had that we didn't realize that we had. I mean, all of those questions were they brought so much value to what we were doing to protect what we wanted to build. So I definitely think that care is so genuine in you, and it just made us feel like we would always be taken care of, and that in our time that we've worked together, I know it hasn't been a long time, but that has not gone away in any way, shape, or form. So thank you.
Tell you what, you didn't disappear after you got in the business.
Well, that's,
Yeah.
that I pride myself on. I mean, thank you for saying that.
Which is good, because we like you personally too,
well,
so.
I like to hear that.
We like you better than Brett.
Poor Brett.
Brett wedding.
Yeah, no, I mean,
We love Brett, just kidding.
Just kidding, Brett, we all love you.
Yeah, we do.
It's true.
Do that face again? No.
No, so,
That's great.
yeah, I mean, he's an incredible friend, for sure. He's
No, for sure.
an incredible human being. So, Jenna, it just feels good to hear you say that, but that's what you get.
That's what you get,
man. But that's also a big part of that blueprint process too, those questions.
Yeah.
But I hear what you're saying, and thank you. I mean,
Well, give us I want a cool ass moment out of you.
Yes, a sponsored one.
Yes.
It needs to be sponsored, of course, this episode, by our friends at Rytech. Thank you guys so much for your
Thanks,
dedication. Yes, Rytech, to the Cool Times podcast. We appreciate you and your support.
Dude, Rytech is just absolutely booming right now.
Yeah.
They're on fire. Chase Deaton, National Cold Storage Director.
stud.
He's killing it. I mean, I don't know how he has time to manage all these accounts, but their doors are so badass. Everyone wants them. And it's like, dude, they're busting out the seams. I don't know how he's got all his hair. Man, the amount of stress that guy gets every day. Busy boy, man. But now, Right Tech, we appreciate the love and support too. And this is I want to hear a cool moment.
This is a cool moment.
I want to hear a cool moment that you had at a conference, at a trade show, with a client.
Since you've entered our
Exclude
industry.
us. Don't use us.
That's tough.
That's hard.
Don't use us. Give us
Something cool that's happened inside our industry in your time that you've
Well,
done.
You know, I guess this is more professionally related, but, you know, after working closely with Fricks, you know, doing what we do and going through our process and having the opportunity to be their partner, then make the decision to make a move, and which is never easy,
Right.
and often can be awkward, but at the same time, you know, it's about being able to create the value to where it really is a no-brainer, and you just got to have an awkward conversation. But in doing that, and then being able to implement the things that we discussed and planned for, and to hear some of those hiccups that came up, and how quickly my team responded and solved it beyond their expectations, and then the next week receiving a referral to one of their clients.
Wow.
Based on that, to come in and show them exactly what we did for them, it was a really cool moment, and spoke, and that's, you know, you take care of people and you do business the right way, and business will grow naturally, and I believe that's right.
100%.
There's a way to do things and a way not to do things, and I'm striving to do them the right way. But I think that was a really cool moment for me, because that really showed that we were doing things the right way. Not just me, but that this is how our team is.
Yeah.
It's not just me, but it's consistent throughout the team. And, you know, at the same time, there is no one solution for everybody. And so I had to ease that particular first conversation with whom they referred me to.
Sure.
In a way to go back through that blueprint process and get to know them. And it looks like things have worked out well for that referral as well.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do our listeners find Carson Miller? Online?
Assured Partners.
Assured
Where do they find
Partners.
out more
Well,
about you?
You're welcome to email me at carson.miller@assuredpartners.com.
MILLER.
MILLER.
We are the
That's right.
Millers.
Yeah, there it is.
You have such an easy name.
Yeah, I know, right? And then
Carson
there,
Miller.
anybody.
Oh, I'm sorry, is Vince Free really hard for you?
Your name's made up, bro.
and anybody out there that would like, you're always welcome to call me or text me, correct? And my number is 214.
Oh, damn. He's going to
Here we go. Here we go.
404-2900.
Doom.
There it is.
Boom.
There it is.
We will leave all that good stuff in the show notes. We'll leave your email and cell phone if you'd like.
Yeah.
You can leave that in the show notes for you so people can find you. Are you on social medias? Are you or Assured Partners?
Assured Partners says yes. So, and I'm on LinkedIn as well.
So you don't want people following like your Facebook to see you in a, you know.
Yeah. I try to keep private, personal. It's safer that way.
I prefer you keep your privates private too.
Yeah, my private's private.
Yeah, I prefer you
It's
keep
safer
it
that way. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Hide the junk, bro.
Oh boy. Oh boy. This took a turn.
It sure did. Jenna, any other final questions before we get on boogieing down the road with some of my favorite stuff here?
I'm excited for your favorite part
You
of
got
the
no more-
show.
Oh. No, well, that.
Well, where your head is, this one?
Give me
Which
this one.
This one?
Yeah, give me that one.
Or this one?
Yeah, or that too. No, I didn't know if you had any other final thoughts or questions for Carson
I mean,
before
I know him pretty well, so.
I dig it. Well,
How we do.
well, we are getting to the segment of the show
I
where.
don't know that we're getting to it. I feel like we're there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not
right
there
with you,
yet.
Jen.
I'm prepping. Well, this is where we get to know you a little more. And I've gathered some of these questions we asked our last guest, and they're a little more off the beaten path of what we originally have been asking people. So this is kind of fun. And
Do I need another drink for this?
Yeah, well, hey, I got the bottle here if you want. No, this is gonna be fun, man. We get to know Carson
Come on,
Miller.
bring it.
You know what I mean?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Send the bottle over.
Yeah. The questions, Jenna.
Oh.
Yeah.
Come on.
Why can't it be both?
I was,
It's 5 o'clock
It can always be both.
somewhere.
All right.
yeah.
My brother, this or that questions. You just gotta, you know, whatever you gotta pick one, okay? No one in the middle. I'm gonna put you on the spot here, okay? You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Lose your hair or your sense of smell?
Hair.
Get out of here, really?
Wow, you got
such
great
great
hair.
I know, I'll never lose it, so figured I'd go with that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I mean, these this or that questions are also sponsored by RideTech.
They are.
Just
Thank you,
throwing
RideTech.
that out there. Anyways, 100 days in Antarctica or 100 days on the moon?
Man,
Do you want to be meme famous or commercial famous?
commercial.
No internet or no running water?
No internet.
Ask someone to repeat what they said or nod and smile.
Repeat what you said.
Okay.
Good.
There you go. Break up via text or email.
Neither.
You have to pick one. If you had to break up with
Not my
someone,
style.
I understand that. I know.
It's definitely not your style.
It's not your
Text.
style.
But if you had to pick one.
Not text. I think text is a little bit more like, you know, immediate. You're gonna get it right away versus the email. Like you get to it like 3 days later. It's like, oh shit, we're not together anymore. That was on
Yeah, I missed that
Wednesday.
opportunity. Yeah.
Well, no wonder you didn't call me back on Saturday. There you go. All right. Would you rather have a magical strength or an invisibility cape?
That's good. Magical strength or invisibility cape.
Yeah,
I'll go with invisibility cape.
dude, that's what I'm talking about.
I would totally pick that one.
It's so
Yeah.
cool. No eyelashes or no eyebrows?
No eyelashes.
How about a couple randos, man? You a cold drink or cold beer guy?
Cold drink.
Poolside or beachside?
Both. Pool by the beach. But
Oh,
damn.
that's
Good.
mine.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's
Go.
mine. Pool by the beach.
Justin Timberlake or Justin Bieber?
Timberlake.
There you go.
He's always got to get that one in
Well,
there.
that's all the questions I have for my for that to get to know Carson Miller,
That's awesome.
who really enjoys vacationing with his next door neighbors with an invisibility cape with no internet. That was on a
And no
famous commercial.
eyelashes.
And with no eyelashes.
Yeah.
And has no hair. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Any other last thoughts, questions, comments? You want to add anything
No.
about?
Just
Miss anything?
no.
Did we
just-
miss anything?
This was a blast. Now I can add this to my resume. It's my first podcast ever, so now I know what to expect on the next one.
Thanks
And
for,
I appreciate y'all having me. This is
Yes.
awesome. Look forward to doing it again. And you both know I appreciate you guys, and I'm really proud about
Not feeling
what y'all
so
done.
well.
So
Thank you.
Yes,
We
thank
appreciate
you.
that. And everyone that's listening, thank you guys so much. I hope this unique episode helped someone out there that is maybe going down this path of insurance, as this happens every year, right? For
It sure
renewals,
does.
and the captive is the hot topic of our industry. So hopefully, if you guys have more questions on that, you guys can reach out to Carson. And for all you listening, thank you so much for the support.
Thank
you can
you.
find our work on social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We have not added threads yet. I don't know if we will. I'm
That's up to you. I don't do social media.
not really a big Zuckerberg guy, though. I know we have to use Facebook and Instagram, but do we need to give Zuck any more love,
I
dude?
don't know.
Man. Are you a Musk or a Zuck guy?
not sure I'm either. Nor is it safe to put it on. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you a Facebook guy or you want to go to the moon? What would pick one? No, but anyways, we're on YouTube too, so you can actually watch the video on YouTube, and you guys can subscribe to our channel on that YouTube and even Apple Podcasts. So on your
Yes.
Apple phone, you can go to Podcast Finder, show Cool Times Podcast.
Google Podcast. Too.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Find us, find our work there, and
Friend us.
yeah, and
Come on.
until next time, we'll see you guys on the next show.
On the flip side.
On the flip side. Thanks, Carson.
Bye.
Thank you guys.